Alright, I'm back. If any of you are still there, I apologize for that. I don't know what the hell happened there. My phone camera thing just decided to wig out and disconnect. So you'd just be looking at my face, which is probably not fun when you're trying to look at Warhammer models. So, take two. Oh, fuck. Alright, here we go. Benny, if you are still there, thank you very much for the heart path and the rose. I did miss that. But thank you. Yes, we are back. George up and running again, hell yeah. Never need you. Oh my god. I'm back from the void, indeed I am. Jacko, what am I using? I'm using SteelSeries. Arctic something, I think it's called. The wireless one. It's a good one. I enjoy it. How have you been, Never Need You? Long time no see. Soul of Shania, if you're still there. Hello. Sorry, I missed you. Okay. Eskil, hello my friend. How are you? Doing good. Good to hear. Good headset. Hey, I enjoy it. It's I wish the battery life was a bit better though. It seems to run out quite quickly. Okay. Playing Kill Team with your friend. Ooh, what are you playing? What are you running as? Good luck. Hope you destroy them. Okay, adding a bit more burnt iron to the mix. And just filling in these little bits on his weapon. And I think we're going to be close to saying that that part of him is done. Like so. Oh, I forgot his little shoulder ball things. Let's get in there. Give them a lick of paint. And same with his hip joints. There we go. Perfect. Nice, happy with that. Okay. Hang on. God, I'm not having a bloody good tech day. What's going on over here on TikTok? Alright, firing that back up again. Good luck. I hope that works. Yep. So sorry, Nevernichu, what do you got here? I'm playing Angels of Death going against Vespers. Oh, kill those filthy Xenos. I gotta paint the new Raptors kill team. That would be pretty cool. Proxying Deathwatch, that could be a way. Could be a way to go. Alrighty, let's get into the fun stuff. And I'm gonna say that fun stuff is painting his weapon. I'm gonna see if I can do it on stream. It is quite cumbersome with the wet blending, but I think I can pull it off. I just might not be able to get the backside of the blade. I think that'll be a little bit tricky, but we shall try our best. Get him in focus for you. There we go. Nice. Okay, so for the blade, what are we going to do? We are going to use this color here. What is it? Dark green as a base coat color. Purple for the blade. I wish I'm restricted, never need to. I have to paint it within this as the client wishes. It's kind of that box art scheme that we're going for. So let's lay down this base coat of green. And we can go tidy up the areas around it later, so I don't need to worry about that. Because these little elements here will probably be around, like, will be black or something, I imagine, just to break up the silver and bronze parts. TB, it has been a minute, mate. How are you? I've been away from socials and the hobby desk for a few months now. Hope you've been alright, mate. Do you ever get clients tell you to do whatever you want? Not really. No, unfortunately not. Because mainly people like, they have a vision in their head. And I try and help put that into practice with a bit of paint. There's a little bit of like might give me some general guidelines, and then I got a little bit of wiggle room to do whatever I want. But generally, not really too much to play around with. How much need a break? Yeah, look, it was. I kind of got burnt out for a little bit, to be honest. And then obviously a lot of other shit with work and just life stuff, so kept me busy. But yeah, now I've got the itch to get back into it. Get into painting again. So I need to let this dry somewhat before I can move on to the next step. And what is that next step, you may ask? Well, I'm going to show you after I work out what paint I'm going to use. That's too white. I need like a yellow color. It's what I'm looking for at the moment. Pale yellow, that'll do. Okay, so the color we're going to use is Scorpy green, and then we're going to mix in pale yellow. The result, after some back and forth, should be this. Like, that's where we're heading with the vision. And you have to trust the process when you do this stuff, because otherwise you might throw a hissy fit because it looks like shit, which I know from experience. Thanks, George. Appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is kind of sketch out the bright areas. So what I mean by that is, if we look at that, we might even follow the similar pattern, right? So bright green in this top right corner, middle green, and then bottom right green again, like the bright. So we're going to do a similar pattern on this dude. Ooh, that is too thin. That's like water thin. So just sketching it out, because what will happen is you will need to then blend it together, and then that needs room to be blended. So there's a lot of finicking back and forth, which can be time consuming and frustrating at times. And then when you think you're done, you have to do it all over again on the other side. How good is that? Okay. It's kind of the area that we want the blends to go. Like that. And I don't worry about the little rivets and groove bits at the moment. We can go back later and touch that up. For now, we're really just looking at where the highlights are going to be on the model. And you do really want to let that dry. So what we could do in the meantime is come on the back side and do the same thing. And you kind of want to do the opposite. So if you've got green here, like the bright side there, on this side you want that to be the dark bit. So we'll put the sort of furthest edge as the bright point. There's some theory behind it. I think it just flows better. I remember reading it somewhere, but it works, and it does. Just looks more natural, even though this is like a futuristic thing. It still reads as natural to us when we look at it. So again, like that's the middle, but it's on the inside, whereas that's the middle and that's on the outside, if you catch my drift. And then that'll be in this little blade bit right there. Cool. So not riveting stuff, I know, but it needs to be done. So what you want to do then, at the moment, these are the two colors that I'm working with, just to rehash. So we've got dark green and Scorpy green on our wet palettes. And now we kind of want to blend the two together, because at the moment we've got kind of pure Scorpy green here and pure dark green there. We need to make a transition. So let's mix the paints together to try and make that transition happen. And you want to work nice and thin. So just mixing on my palette at the moment. I think that's thin enough. And I'm just going to start the blending process. Nice and thin. Doesn't need to be looking crazy at the moment. And you just got to do a couple of layers. Like you might feel like, oh, I need to put it on thicker because, you know, I can see the underlayer. Like, just don't fall into that trap. Otherwise you'll ruin the effect that you're going for. And we can always, if we go too light, you can always go back and forth. It's kind of the way that we have to do things. You just kind of go back and forth until it starts to come together. And because we're working extra thin, I can probably just work on the one side, which is a bit more exciting for you guys, because you'll see it come together a bit quicker. What faction do I enjoy painting the most? I'd have to say Space Marines. I've just painted so many of them. I enjoy it because I'm quite good at the way that they come together. Like, I can paint them fairly quickly, and I get enjoyment out of that. What about you, mate? What's your favorite? Cooper, thank you for the tofu. Appreciate it. Thank you for the gumdrop buttons. You're a legend. Appreciate it. So you can sort of see the blends starting to take form in some of those areas, which is good. Happy with that. Happy Rabbit, Necron indeed. Oh, you're painting some Dark Angels, George. Nice, very nice. Cool faction to paint. Lots of variety with their Raven Wing and their Death Wing. So I'll bring back some of that dark a bit there with the thin glaze in here, as you can see. Kind of building back in some of that depth that we might have lost with some of those previous layers. And while the paint's still wet, go in with more of that mid-tone blendy color, and we can just try and blend it together while it's wet. Kind of easier to mix, as you can see. Necron what type? This is a Necron Destroyer. I don't know what type of Destroyer, but a Necron Destroyer. TV and Happy Rabbit, thank you for those gumdrop buttons. You guys are legends. Thank you. I might want to push that Scorpy green, the sort of the light green color, a little bit further, because I feel like it's maybe looking a little bit too dark at the moment. So thin glaze to kind of extend that area, because we're going to want to punch that up a little bit brighter as well by adding a bit of yellow to it. So I think that's decent. And when you're kind of painting the bright areas, I'm going to try and explain it, but you want to push the paint towards the bright areas. So if you can see, I'm doing strokes that way, down, because I want to push it towards the middle. And when I'm this side, I'm pushing up towards the middle, because that's where the pigment will stop. Because I'm just going to show you, and hopefully not ruin the model. If I was here and I pull down, you can see that bright spot left there. We don't want it there, right? So as you do it this way, using that concept, you know that it's going to stop, but you stop it in the middle and you can't notice it. It's one of the easy ways to get good at blending, is just focusing on which direction am I actually pulling the brush. Just keep that in mind next time you give it a shot. Blending, glazing, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now back and forth again. Just on this mid-tone bit. And one more on the dark bit. You just got to be patient when it comes to this sort of blending, glazing stuff. Like, it just is time consuming, and there's no two ways about it. Unfortunately, it's just the name of the game. Too much. There we go. So you can see it's starting to come together. It's blending pretty good. I'm happy with that. Jimmy Parks, as far as hobbies goes, Warhammer expensive or around the average. Mate, for what it is, for little bits of plastic and some paint, it's fucking diabolically expensive. Yeah. That's the best way I can answer that for you. Now, pale yellow, any sort of light yellow is probably good enough. I've just chosen that color. I'm going to add that into the Scorpy green color to push that highlight that little bit further. Yeah, Warhammer 40k, time for a 10k loan. Legit, man. It's like people say Warhammer 40,000 costs you $40,000 to get into the hobby. It's cooked. Okay, now I'm going to push this a little bit. So I've added in that bright yellow. Nice, happy with that. It's kind of like a lime green color that we've made. I'm just going a little bit smaller and smaller areas, like so. Hello, great. Papyrus, how are you, mate? I'm not into Warhammer, but glad you're having fun. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Odelay, is Warhammer expensive in Australia? It is quite expensive in Australia. I'm pretty sure we are the second most expensive place in the world to buy Warhammer, like directly from Games Workshop. Second to New Zealand, unfortunately. The prices are just astronomical for some reason. It's not fair, you know? They got us addicted to the plastic crack and then they charge us a fortune. Yeah, crazy, hey? Just like Lego. I don't do Lego, but I can imagine. Get shafted. Agreed, it's like super therapeutic in between work and life. It is. It's really fun in that aspect. How many likes to go bold? Mate, you don't need to get likes, mate. I'll be 30 this year. All my hair is going to be falling out. It already is. Now I think I'm not happy with this big shadow area. I think we need to blend it in a little bit further. Yeah, when you paint eyes and skin tone, you'll lose. Yeah, mate. Out of stress, 100%. Dude, if I lose all my hair, I have to like tattoo my head or something because I can't grow a beard. I'll just be a fucking bowling ball. It's cooked. Found out the hard way. Bowling ball is crazy. My girlfriend jokes about it all the time. So jealous of people that can grow a beard. I ain't one of them. I think that's a little bit better. It's a bit more in line with where I wanted that to go. And I can probably go back and forth and refine that a bit further. You ever paint a Gundam model kit? Lord Alcatraz, I have not, unfortunately. Never painted one. But never say never. Maybe one day. In the next life, I hope I'm not Canadian again. One time was bad enough. I'd rather be bald than Canadian. Fair enough, mate. Look, nothing's stopping ya. Get those clippers out. Six months into the hobby's ruined me financially in a good way. Yeah. I don't know how you get financially ruined in a good way, but I think I know what you're trying to say. Now, this is where the magic happens. It's one of my favorite steps, is we've gotten the blending to a decent sort of standard to where we're pretty happy with it. So using that ice yellow and the Scorpy green, I'm going to edge highlight. And this is going to turn this 1080p, if we can call it that, blend into 4K. You ready? Fuck, I'm talking a big game, it might look like shit, but you know, you're gonna build up the hype. Because when you edge highlight it, it just makes things that much more readable. Easier for our eye to know where things end and start, you know? And that makes us happy. So as you can see, we're buffering. And that sword has come into life. Axe sword. What would you even call this? A cleaver? Fuck, I got no idea what this is called. I can call it a sword. With beard growth, you might need to change up your diet. Maybe, but I ain't giving up burgers. No fucking way. That ain't living. Without a burger, no way. Bruh, I'd rather be bowling ball and burger. Call me BB. Reno, this is fire. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Licking the brush makes your blending work better. It does. TV, it does. That is the secret sauce right there. String bean, love it. Thank you, thank you. Bet you feel real toasty by bedtime. Oh, toasty as. Big Chopper. Oh yeah, we can call him Big Chopper. 100%. Roddy Davis, hello. And Robo Dinosaurs. Yo, big man. Nice bit of painting there, mate. Cheers, dude. Appreciate it. Alright, so keeping him in somewhat of a focus. Let's go around and highlight these little bits too. A hyper phase sword. See, it was a sword. I was correct. Thank you for the clarification there, Nine Light. The painting style is grouse. I've heard that word. I actually don't know what it means. But thank you, maybe? Grouse means great. Cheers, mate. Thanks. I'm a simpleton. Those big words, you know, just too much for me to handle. It's getting a bit hairy, this brush. There's like little bits of hair floating around. And it's wrecking our edge highlighting that we're trying to do. So if we can get this circle. Yep. Happy with that. We don't use grouse really in Sydney. Feels like a Melburnian word. It does. It sounds like fucking English to me. Like, I don't know. Like scouse. Like a scouser from England. Bloody Victorians. I bet you Nine Lights is a Victorian. Yep, he is. Classic. For your edge highlights, you tend towards a slightly dry paint instead of what you might use for base coats. Always end up with chunky and sometimes messy highlights that don't look right. Not really, Robo. What I suggest is you kind of don't really want to thin your paint all too much. I know it sounds like heresy saying don't thin your paints, but when you're highlighting, you run the risk of it running into areas where you don't want when if it's too thin. But on the flip side, as you said, dry, You don't want it too dry because I find you then kind of force yourself to push a little bit harder on the bristles because nothing's coming off, and therefore you get thicker, chunky kind of highlights, which you don't really want because you're pushing harder to try and get the paint out because some of it's already dried, if that makes sense. So you kind of just want to keep going back to your palette as much as you can so the paint's nice and wet. Good night, my love. See ya. Girlfriend's going to bed. Yes. So I just keep revisiting the palette. I don't really kind of go back and I don't try and do it for too long because otherwise, yeah, it dries up too quickly. Now, I wish this was a bit raised so I could just use the edge of my brush, but I know that this sword, this hyperphase sword, is quite flat in this part, but they paint it like it's nice and sharp, so we're going to have to do the same, and it's quite annoying. I'm going to have quite a steady hand to do this, and sometimes that is not me. We're sketching that out there. I'm actually Irish, but trying to be a Victorian for some reason. Might be heresy sometimes. I'll deepen the grooves to make them easier to paint. Yeah, so you're carving them out, are you, mate? Nine light. That is heresy. Okay, so I'm going back to the palette, and we need to continue this all the way down the middle. So there, there. It's getting there. Interesting, it was a belief that thinning is mandatory in every scenario, but that's good to know. Yeah, look, it's just trial and error. Like, they're good guides. Like, if you're new to painting and you're not told to thin your paints and then you go straight from the pot and then you get disappointed, they're good guidelines to have. But rules are meant to be broken, my friend. Experiment, see what works. Like this, like I say, it's not thinned, but like my brush is wet, so essentially there's a little bit of thinning happening already. You know? There we go, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's kind of the look that we're going for there with the edge highlighting. I think I edge highlighted most of the bits that I wanted. Bob Ross painting minis be like. Dark Excalibur. I think Bob Ross had a lot more hair than I did, which is what we were talking about earlier, about me ending up bald. So I'd be jealous of his big fro. Lewis, let's go 40k, looks banging. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. It works quite well, especially if you shake like a leaf. It sounds like it would be a good hack. 9, for sure, definitely. Whatever makes it easier, makes your job easier. It's the way to go. And AK Paints, good afternoon to you, my friend. Now, we're not completely done with the sword. I'm going to be a little bit finicky. And, oh, AK, thank you for the heart. And thank you for, you know what's coming, the gumdrop buttons. You're a legend. Thank you, thank you. And we've dropped off on camera again. What is going on here? How come my camera is not connecting in properly? Technical difficulties. There we go. There we go. Alright, we're back. Back in action. Now repeat times 500. Yeah, I know, right? That would be just mind-numbing to do that over and over again. Luckily, I only have the it's the 500 Worlds Battalion thing that is part of this commission. So there's only, what, 11 models in that? So not too many that I need to get through. David, thank you very much. AK, my day is going good. It's all but wrapping up, to be honest. Now that we are at 11:05 here in Australia. What I'm doing here, guys, just real quick, I did it off screen, added a bit of white to the edge highlight mix, and I'm just going in and dotting the corners. Really kind of get that little glint. Max reflection, you know? Probably can't see it on the camera, but in person, shit looks fire. Just like so. Yep. Jimmy, I'm back. What's your favorite army to paint and who's your favorite army to fight with? Well, Jimmy, I don't have a favorite army to paint. Faction, I did say before, I'd have to say again, Space Marines. And thank you, AK, for those gumdrop buttons once again. I would have to say Space Marines are my favorite faction to paint because I find them the easiest to paint and rewarding because of that. To fight with, I don't know. I don't actually play the game. So, yeah, apologies. Can't answer that one. What do you do to take care of your brushes after use? Well, this one here, first off, you do one of these. Have a little snack, tasty snack. Licking the paintbrush is proven to look after them. But then you use some brush soap. I've got a bunch of brush soap in the drawer next to me. Yeah. And just try not to get paint up too far into the ferrule. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a bad time. And Shania, I was just on your TikTok. Ah, thank you. Over on YouTube. Cool. Now, guys, this looks almost done. We forgot about the back. See? Trust the process. That's where we started. That's where we got to. But I don't know if I've got time to do all that again right here. But what we can do, just for a little bit more before we wrap up, is just pick out some of the black spots on him and get him very close to being done. Dead Skull is asking what paint style am I going for? I don't know, it's kind of my own style. I kind of do a blend of grim darky slash kind of clean. I know those two words don't really go together, but it's the way that I describe it. It's just how I've painted, and I can show you after I put on a bit of this black on his weapon, just on some of the areas that I know it's going to go. I can do a little bit of a showcase for some of the models. I wish I could show you some more that I painted, because most of the recent models that I've painted have all been commissioned and are no longer with me. They've gone back to their rightful owners. So if you wanted to see some of that stuff, head on over to my Instagram, because I post over there. Well, I've just started again. I'm not going to bother painting black in here because I know that I'm probably going to overpaint there and muck it up. But now that I'm using the black here, what I did forget was the grooves. Those bits, the divots that Nine Light likes to carve out a bit further. We're going to go in there with a watered down mix of our dark green with a little bit of black added to it, because I've got it on my palette. And I'm just going to try and get in there and define that a little bit further. And if I get it where I don't want it, I'm just going to wipe it away. Like so. You could use like a wash for this. I'm just too lazy at the moment. The best type of wash is an oil wash by far, because you can easily tidy up your mistakes. But this is kind of like a very, very thin wash because we don't need too much of an effect, just enough to darken it down slightly. Like so. Just showing you different ways you can do things. Like it just, you don't need to be reliant on other specific types of paints to achieve effects like that. It's pretty much all that's needed there. And just that little bit more. Once that dries, obviously, it'll look a little bit better. A red glow on the weapon could look really cool. It could, although I am following along what my client has requested, unfortunately. So I've got to stay within those parameters. Shrimp. What paint did I use? We used a few. I'll show you the brands. The brands of paint that I used tonight. I've used 4 brands. I've used Pro Acryl, Vallejo, the Game Color and Model Color, and AK. Just use whatever I feel is necessary in terms of color. I'm not restricted on the brands. Did I just eat paint? I certainly did. It was delicious. Thank you, Toast. What's my favorite piece I've painted so far? I painted a lot. I'm really happy with a Kite and Demon engine that I just painted up and posted on my Insta. If you wanted to check that out, I'm very happy with that. But I just thought I'd show you some of these models that I've painted up recently. So this was part of another commission. Just while I'm yapping, so you've got something to look at. So this is Sigismund from the Imperial Fists. Yeah, quite happy. Not to the highest standard. It's also a resin miniature. Resin miniatures are fucking shit to paint. I hate them, but I think he turned out alright. So that's Old Mate. I always show this one because I made a tutorial on how to paint this, like a PDF tutorial. Another yellow boy. Thank you, Nine Light, appreciate it. Oh, Nine Light and Dead Skull, thank you for the gumdrop buttons. I missed those. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So yeah, this one here, I'm very happy because I love the contrast that it came out with this, like the kind of browny tones, orangey yellow, and then the chipping, I think, just makes it look sick. So happy with Old Mate there. This here, a raptor, I painted up a while back. When I first sort of got my airbrush and was experimenting with that, this is the outcome of that. Luca, does it wash off your hands easily? Sure does. The paint comes off super easy. It's water, non-toxic, water-based. I'm pretty sure it's water-based, but it's non-toxic. That's why I eat it. Yeah, it's not going to do you any harm. And yeah, it comes off very easy. Desco, what army do I play? Yeah, I don't play really, just paint for fun. I have a massive pile of shame. Nine Light, see ya, my friend. Take care. See you next time. Do I do Necrons? Ask Morning Soda. No, that's just a commission that I'm working on at the moment. But Necrons were my first army that I picked up when I got into Warhammer. Luther Lexor, what advice would you give to someone who loves your videos but has autism? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, if you love my videos, I think just continue to enjoy them and try and, I guess, apply what I'm saying to your own minis. But the main thing is just to get paint on your brush and put it on your mini and see what happens, because that's the best way to improve. And just don't get disappointed with outcomes, because I mean, I get disappointed with my own shit, but you just keep trying and trying again. I think, yeah, little improvements over time is what gets you to a better place. And I'm going to show you an example of that. Like, I'm really shit at non-metallic metal, to be honest. So this was a practice thing that I did, and I wasn't really happy with it because it was like my first practice for a long time where I'm just trying to practice a technique, right? If I look at it here, it doesn't look that great, to be honest. Like, it's passable, maybe, but not that great, in my eyes anyway. And I think the next day I practiced a bit further, and this was the outcome on this guy on his left shoulder pad and Aquila. The right, this is not done, still a work in progress. But that non-metallic metal, from that, these two, like, there's a fairly big difference there, and that's just from looking around at what other people do and just really just practicing and being okay with making the mistakes, you know. But yeah, very happy with how that bit of non-metallic metal has turned out. But I got a lot to learn still when it comes to non-metallic metal. What else do we get here? Ever seen Correctly Proportioned Space Marine? It's a neat idea. I haven't, Gabagool. Warhammer is the highest testosterone activity. It sure is, mate. Yeah, it's pumped full of it. I showed this guy before, this Arbides dude. Again, this is for another commission that I've painted. So I've got 2 boxes of these that need doing. So we'll get around to that eventually. And a couple more I'll quickly show for any of you still watching. Thank you for hanging out with me for so long. This one here was quite happy. I did a TikTok on him and called him a white Black Templar, which pissed a lot of people off, which was hilarious. And I'm quite happy with how he turned out. A couple more to show you. This dude, this little skelly dude, when I paint my own guys, I do like a skeleton, and something that I can paint up nice and quick, and this is one of them. A bit of fun, relaxing, happy with the result. Yeah, this guy took me less than an hour maybe to paint. Like, it's super fast, it's fun, not really worried about detail because it's my own models. Like I don't need to be super precise. But yeah, happy with how he turned out. And I do like showing this one because I was quite happy with how this glow effect turned out. Another yellow Space Marine, because I think yellow Space Marines look sick. To paint anyway, like they just really pop. So yeah, happy with that glow effect. But I am rambling now, and that's probably time for me to head to bed. So let's do a quick recap of where we began. So this was a test model I did yesterday, I think it was. Too clean for the liking. We wanted more of an ancient look. The outcome of that was a little test model here. We got this as a result. Happy with that. Liked the outcome there. So what we did on stream today was this bad boy here. Not finished. As I said, we got the back still to do. But for, what are we now? I'm going to say about 2 hours work, right? On stream. Maybe an hour and 45. We got to a fairly good point. And most of that was because of this fucking thing here. The blending takes so long. But yeah, happy with that, guys. Gorp, thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words. That's probably going to do it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's good to be back. I've been away for months, but I want to do a lot more of this. So yeah, get back into it. Need to do a few more shorts, videos, get that shit out there. Get back onto the hobby horse, you know. Start pumping out some shit for you guys to watch. And yeah, thanks again for hanging out. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Oh, before I do end, I don't know if I can post it on TikTok. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to post it on YouTube anyway. It's my Discord link if you want to jump in there. We share pictures of our works in progress and finished minis. You can ask me questions in there too. All right, that is it. Take care, dudes and dudettes. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.